Welcome back. This week is a tale of two islands, one that we loved and one that wasn't quite right. Join us as we explore the history, food, and nightlife of Mykonos and Naxos. Welcome to The Right Life. We're Catherine and Edward, a married couple based in London with a passion for travel and experiencing the world together. On our channel, we share our adventures from uncovering hidden gems to learning about new cultures and discovering amazing historical sites. Join us as we explore the world. As always, when flying over a Greek island, we were greeted by a stunning landscape.
Sun is about to go down in the next hour.
He splashed me with
I splashed you with water. I splashed you with water from the pool. So this is our little terraced area. A little plunge pool at the end there. I did get you quite bad, I'm sorry.
Really did.
I feel guilty.
You should.
You can hear in my voice how guilty I feel.
Yeah, not at all.
Double bed.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ.
I'm already all wet because you splashed me.
Our little couch. Happy days.
That evening, we headed out to explore the picturesque streets of Mykonos.
It's a bit blowy tonight.
We then found a fish restaurant where we both ordered the lamb.
You okay there?
Up early, we set off to explore, but didn't get very far. Our typical museum haunts were closed, and we found the restaurants to be subpar and overpriced. This went on for about 2 days. On the third day, I was up early and headed to explore another island.
Somehow I managed to be one of the first people off the boat, so I have a couple of minutes before the tourist horde descends on Delos. How cool is this? Walking down an ancient street without anyone else around. Propylaea. Okos of the Naxians.
During antiquity, the small island of Delos became a thriving sanctuary, pilgrimage site, and a major trade hub. At its peak in the 6th century BCE, its diverse population thrived. Over the centuries, while still an important trade center, the religious connection to Artemis and Apollo died out. In the 2nd century AD, the island was devastated by pirates, leading to its gradual abandonment. Today, Delos is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the most impressive and important ancient Greek sites to visit.
This was one of the markets with this lovely pink lake. Why is this lake pink? Who knows?
The Lions of Delos are a group of marble sculptures from the 7th century BCE. They are located along the sacred way leading to the sanctuary of Apollo. These 10 lion statues are believed to symbolize the protective qualities of the god Apollo. They also showcase the artistry of ancient Greek sculptors.
This is one of the newest areas of the city, the most recently excavated. In fact, they're still excavating here. And they have found an incredible amount of jewelry. None of which I'll see today because the museum is shut. It is super windy here today. This small house is called the Lake House, the Delian House, and was built around the 2nd century BC. 2 generations of the same family lived here. Very small, but very tastefully decorated. Fortunately, we can't actually go inside, but at least we can have a bit of a peek. This was known as the theater quarter, and this house itself was the house of Cleopatra, because there was a statue of her found here. I am standing in the remains of Delos Theater, and considering that Edward is not here right now, I have to say it, don't I? Are you not entertained? I don't remember the rest of the gladiator speech. That is Edward's job. So I've come to Delos from Mykonos. I'm a little bit sunburned, but mostly just red from climbing up the massive hill. This is apparently the birthplace of Artemis and Apollo, the twins. The myth is that their mother, Leto, was impregnated by Zeus, and Hera found out, and she was pissed, so she made it so that Leda could not give birth anywhere on land. Eventually Leda found this island, which was apparently not attached to the bottom of the sea, so she was able to give birth to Apollo and Artemis here. And allegedly Artemis was born first and then helped her mother give birth to her younger brother.
After about 3 hours, which is really not enough time in such a huge site, it was time to head back to Mykonos. I convinced Edward to leave the hotel and join me for some sunset drinks.
You're looking a bit red, love.
Yeah, I didn't have any sunscreen today.
Bronzed. Like a Christmas turkey. I'm not much better though.
No, you're a little red just today.
Feeling slightly less than ourselves, we headed to the port and the boat that would take us to our next stop, Naxos. That evening, we cheated on Greece with some Japanese sushi before watching some live music.
Oh yeah, take video of me when I'm sweating like a Kentucky Derby winner. After I walked up a bloody mountain. Still make it look white though.
Our next stop in Naxos was a small but interesting archaeological museum.
Sweetheart, you've walked past the best thing in the collection. This little cyclotic dude. Some very cool vases. It's obviously a warrior killing somebody. It's another warrior here. That's what's really clear. It says it's local pottery from cemeteries around in the area from the 6th century BC. I dare say this may be an octopus.
That's the couple of a carpenter's mate.
Naxos is another town built on a hill, but the streets are quieter and the pace much less manic than Mykonos.
You have video, right?
You're trying to get me to feel wet and exactly around the time.
Right, so behind me is what Naxos is most known for, which is the portara, or the big doorway, for the Temple of Apollo. And this temple was built in the 6th century BC by the tyrant ruler Lydamas. But then he wanted to build the biggest and tallest building on the island, but then war broke out and construction abruptly stopped. So they never went back to it. So it's actually an unfinished building, but should have been a temple to Apollo. But perhaps more interestingly, there's a much more important to me, myth that took place right here. This is where Ariadne and Dionysus first met. Now, if you watched our videos a while ago, you'll remember we went to Knossos on the island of Crete, which is where the princess Ariadne helped Theseus to kill the Minotaur. And so then she left with him, it was her way off the island, and he abandoned her here. And just as she felt all hope is lost, Bacchus shows up with his party. They lock eyes and they immediately fall in love right here. And my favorite Ariadne and Bacchus painting is Titian, which is in the National Gallery in London. Afraid you're not comfortable enough.
That evening, we visited a traditional restaurant.
It's idiot proof. I'm the idiot.
hot of lammy goodness. Goaty goodness.
Hot of goaty goodness.
After giving our rental car the obligatory once-over, we set off to explore the island.
Today we are going to be exploring a little bit more of Naxos. We've rented a car, and our first stop is the Temple of Dionysus. And as we talked about yesterday, this is where Bacchus, well, Dionysus and Ariadne met, and Dionysus really became the protector of this island. So they wanted to thank him for being their protector and bringing the party. So the first temple here was in the 13th century BC during the Mycenaean era, but this one wasn't built until the 1st century BC, and it is Ionian in style. As you can see, there's not a whole lot left here because there was a massive flood and the site was abandoned. This is a copy of what the original column would have looked like.
There's also a small museum to check out, but photography was not allowed. This is what the temple would have looked like. Unfortunately, I forgot to bring the GoPro, so no driving shots.
The hills are alive, the sun.
After a short but stunning walk, we found the ancient sanctuary of Demeter, who was the goddess of fertility and agriculture. This sanctuary dates back to the 6th century BCE. Close to the ruins was a museum that focused on ancient religious traditions. We arrived to the small mountain town of Chokio shortly before lunch. There are several many-mile-long hiking trails that pass through here, and we decided to explore one that had several small churches.
Only you can smell that. It smells amazing.
Well, let's do.
After lunch, we made a quick stop at some seaside hotel ruins that have become a graffiti gallery. I love checking out the artwork, but was a little worried about going inside the abandoned buildings, so we quickly moved on. Last stop of the day was the Santa Ana Winery, where we picked up a bottle before heading back to Naxos.
That dog's living dangerously. Get in the dashboard.
We'll replace the GoPro. Oh my god.
The long and winding roads.
All because you went the wrong direction.
I couldn't understand I didn't go in the right direction. I couldn't understand the road markings. That was pretty impressive here, isn't it?
It's an incredible view. I wish there was a lookout point.
I like the way they got all these mirrors here for blind bends, but they're all scratched up and all that, so they're basically useless. Turn around when possible.
For a nightcap, we went back to the restaurant with live music and were so surprised to see a bit of plate smashing. Did you miss it? Here it is in slow-mo. The next day, we took the boat back to Mykonos. It was a little crowded getting off before heading back to the airport and then home. This trip was a tale of two very different Greek islands, and we were so happy you came along for the ride. Let us know if you have any suggestions on where in Greece we should visit next. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave us a comment below. There are more adventures to come.
Come back here. Turn around. Walk away. Like a normal person.
Just fake it.
Yeah.
Just pretend I gotta do it. It was on fire, it's not now.